Okay, good morning again. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here at Yeshiva Tsama Nafshi, located in Yerushalyim, HaKodesh, not too far from the central bus station. And we are now getting ready for Pesach, learning about Hagaddah of Pesach. I'm substituting temporarily for Rabbi Levitt. Good morning.
Good morning.
What is this?
We're going to put this.
I really didn't have French toast. Right, okay. As it says in the Hagaddah, let's start from left off. Baruch HaMakom. Have it there. Baruch, first page. Go ahead.
Baruch HaMakom, blessed is the omnipresent, Baruch Hu, blessed is he, Baruch Shenasan Torah Israel. Blessed is the one that gave Torah to his nation Israel. Baruch Hu, blessed is he. Keneged Arba'ah Vanim Dibra Sorah, corresponding to 4 sons, speaks the Torah. Echad Chacham, one is the Chacham, the wise one. Echad Rasha, and one is the wicked one. Echad Tam, and one is the simple one. Echad She'eno Yodea Lishol, and one is the one that does not know how to ask.
Very good. Okay. So let's just take a brief moment to think about this. Obviously, the number 4 is of a great significance in many different ways. The fact that the Torah itself delineates that there's four sons, meaning that's a categorization. You have 4 different types of people, not just sons. Obviously, it's referring to people in general. You have people who are wise, right? People who are detrimental in some way. People that are tam, we'll understand what tam means, and also there are people that they're so unknowledgeable they don't even know that there are questions, that there are questions to be asked and answers to be given. So let's take a look what each one has to say.
Chacham Ma'u Omer, the wise son, what does he say? Ma He'edus, what are the laws, or the testimonies? V'ha Chukim, and the laws, the non-rational laws. V'ha Mishpatim, and the rational laws. Asher Tzivah, that commanded Hashem, that God commanded, Elokeinu, that the Lord our God commanded, Eschem, you, collectively. Va'af, and even, Ata, you, Emar, lo, say to him, Kihil Chos, according to the laws, HaPesach, of Passover. Ein Maftirin, and you don't complete?
Literally it means that you're not supposed to eat like a dessert, right? You're not supposed to eat anything after the Afikomen.
Acher HaPesach Afikomen. So you don't eat after the Passover Afikomen.
Right.
Which is the matzah that's in place of the Korban Pesach.
Right. So you have the question, you have the answer. So the answer is in keeping with the question. That's the general rule. You always try and answer the question that's asked in terms of the context of the person, in terms of the context of the person who's asking it. He's a wise person, so you answer him in a wise way. He's asking what are these rules, regulations, ordinances that you have over here, right? And you tell him one particular thing. So the question we can ask is, well, how is that really an answer? Meaning, what is the word ma? What's the ma? Meaning, what does it consist of, or in general, like what is it?
I think it's what is it? What are they?
Mm-hmm. What are they? So you basically only tell him one thing. You're not telling him the only thing. Or it could be that this is only one representative thing. That your answer is only one representative thing out of many things which you'll explain to him. Meaning, is it something which is just is it specific? This is your one and only answer. Or is this an answer which is sort of like the example, the prototype for answering? Based on the question, it seems like we're a prototype. He's asking on many things. Edu, we understand edus and chukim and mishpatim. I mean, we have many. These are many things. These are including many different things. Edus, chukim, mishpatim. These are very many different rules and regulations, ordinances, which he's asking about, and you're answering him in one specific way.
It's interesting that it's the word for the laws in the answer is plural, and then it gives one law. Mm-hmm. So I'm presuming that means that that's an example of the. It's saying teach them all the laws. Mm-hmm. It's almost saying like he's saying including or an even, which is interesting because it starts off with af, even.
Right. What's the af? Right. V'af ata omi. What's the not only af but v'af? Meaning, what's the vav? What's the and also? Meaning, right. It seems like it's beginning or it's in the middle of something that was said previously, right. and you're continuing on with something.
But I'm thinking maybe you can apply it to the end of the sentence.
Right.
It's saying you will teach him the laws of Pesach, and even the law of not eating after the afikonim. There's even this little, seemingly pretty unimportant law.
Right.
Even that one. Is that a possible reading of it?
Yeah, I was thinking of something along these lines. I'm just, I see that one of the Meforshim here is dealing with this Lashon Af. He says this is the Rid, Tosus Rid, that's one of the Rishonim. Af, Perush, Kishem Kishol Kahalacha, Af, Ona Kahalacha. Says Va'af, meaning, according to this explanation, it's exactly that. You're answering him according to the way he's asking. He's asking about a halacha, right? So you answer him with a halacha, right? And Shehu Shoel Lama Ochlin Chagiga Koidem Pesach, Halo Pesach. He's taking for granted something that is built into the question. Okay, one moment. Let's see if we have another explanation of af. 1 second. V'af. Okay. Okay. Ramban, V'af ata omelo, shikach hadin, ki ein maftirin acha achilas Pesach, v'shum achila acheres. Ela miyad acha achilas Pesach, afik v'no, yotzi v'yosh. That was Pesach. Okay, then that. Okay, we'll have to be off at the question. Hagaddah. Yeah, the question is like this. Okay, very good. Here, the Ben Yakir says like this. Again, the answer is V'yaf ata omer loy ki hilchos pesach emat yinaka avi pesach. It says like this. Eina omer. You don't say. I mean, the Hagaddah doesn't say omer lo hilchos pesach. It doesn't say tell him hilchos pesach. Right? It's obvious that's what you should answer him. You don't have to tell us. We don't have to be told that you have to explain to him about Hilchos Pesach, right? Beidus chukim mishpatim shehem ad acher gemor achila. Pesach hein begufo hein mimatzu moron ne'achalim mimoy. Oh, it's like this. Very good. This is an explanation of v'af tomer, meaning the Ben Yakir is explaining as follows. What we were bothered by what the expression v'af.
Right.
As we said, it seems like it's picking up in the middle of something that was said previously. Right? So he says, it says the understanding is as follows. It's obvious that we explained to him everything about matzah and murur and all the other things. Right?
Right.
That's obvious. I mean, that doesn't have to be. We also tell him about the very last thing that's necessary to know. Meaning you explain to him everything. And also you explain to him that you're not maftirach avi coming. You explain to him even this very last halacha. Meaning that's to tell you that everything else is included beforehand. And not only that, right, you go to the very end of all the relevant halachas which are relevant for that night. That's the v'af. Rotz lomer. Lomer boy shetifresh lo hilchas pesach edus v'chukim mishpatim shem ad acher gemor v'chilas pesach. You don't have to explain to. We don't have to be. Meaning the context of this is as follows. The Chacham asked the question. Chacham ma'omer. Ma edus v'chukim mishpatim asher tziva Hashem Elokeinu eschem. So that's his question. And our directive is, meaning we are given a directive. What's our directive? V'yaf tomer lo hilchos pesach. You'll explain to him ki hilchos pesach. Ein maftirin acher pesach afikomen. You don't eat anything after the eating of the pesach afikomen. So our directive is a continuation. Meaning the directive is assuming that we're going to tell him everything which is obvious. And the directive that's specified to us and stated here specifically is the thing which is maybe not so obvious. That you tell him about even the very last halacha which is relevant. Okay. I'm happy with that explanation.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Rasha Mahu Omer. What does the wicked one say? Ma ha-avodah hazos lachem. What is this service to you? Lachem, to you, v'lo lo, and not to him. Ulefi shehotzi es atzmo, and lefi, according to?
Yeah.
According to the bringing out of himself, mean haklal, from the general,
the group.
From the group.
Right, here's a group.
Kapar be'ikar. would be atonement.
Kafar. He's denying. Kofer meaning that.
Oh, kofir. He's denying the essence.
Right.
Let's see. So, according to the bringing out of himself from the group. Right. He's bringing out of
he's
himself.
Excluding, since he's excluding himself from the group,
he's denying the essence.
Right. That's right.
Va'af atah, the same wording.
Yes.
And even you, hakahei et shinav. You blunt his teeth.
That's right.
Hakahei is to blunt, I guess.
That's right.
Blunt his teeth. Ve'mar lo, and say to him, Ba'avur zeh, because of this, Asa Hashem, that Hashem did li for me, but Tsesi, in bringing me Mitzrayim from Mitzrayim, or bringing me out from Mitzrayim.
Good.
Li v'lo lo, to me, for me, and not for you. Ilu haya, if you were sham there, lo haya nig al, you would not have been redeemed.
Right. Okay.
So let me just see if I can summarize it.
Go ahead.
The Chacham says, "What is this? What is this service to you?" He says to you and not to him.
Right.
So that he removes himself from the group who was brought out of Mitzrayim and denies the essence of Pesach. And you should blunt his teeth and say to him, it's for the sake of what Hashem did for me in bringing me out of Egypt, me and not you. If you had been there, you would not have been redeemed.
Very good. Okay. Now, let's first of all, any questions?
Well, of course, there's the famous question that it says to you in both people.
Correct. Right.
And it emphasizes to you and not to him.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of differences. You could focus on the fact that he doesn't ask specifically. He asks in a very terse fashion, showing that he's not really interested, or that he's insulting. It's insulting.
Mm-hmm.
Why does it focus on the word lechem?
Right.
When that's a thing that's not really different between the two questions. That's one question.
Okay.
What does it mean to blunt his teeth? That sounds like you're punching him in the mouth.
Right, we'll discuss that, right?
I mean, I get the idea. It's saying, be tough with him. Tough love, I guess.
Right.
So that's, those are the three questions I can think of.
Okay, so let's take the first one again. The Rasha Mahomer Ma Edus Azos Lechem. Ma Ha'avoda Azos Lechem. Okay, Lechem below low. So the question was Ma Avoda Azos Lechem. What's this avoda to you? Now, it's not exactly as you said. It's condensed. It's terse when compared to the Chacham, right?
Right.
And therefore it's essentially different. We have to understand that it's essentially a different question. Therefore, it gets an essentially different answer. Now, in contrast, just look back at the Chacham again. Chacham Ma'omer Ma Eidus V'Ahukim V'Mishpatim Mashet Tziva Hashem Elokeinu Eschem. The vital difference between the Chacham and the Rasha is seemingly not what the Hagaddah says. The Hagaddah says that he's Yotzi himself from the cloud, right?
Right.
That's what makes him koifer be'ikr, right? But if when I'm looking at what the Chacham says, Ma edus v'achukim v'mishpatim asher tziva Hashem Elokeinu, meaning that Hashem, our God, has commanded us or you. Eschem is really a reference to everyone else, right?
Right.
So that's
Could have said us, right?
Yeah, it should have the lanu. Tziva Hashem Elokeinu lanu. You know,
Right.
like us. So it said eschem. So that's the seemingly correspondence between the Rasha and the Chacham, that he also said lechem and lechem and eschem is correspondingly the same.
Right.
But what's seemingly the real error that the Rosh is making is he's excluding the Baruch Hu from the picture, right? My avoda is os lechem. What's this avoda you're doing, right? Meaning that would be kofer be'ikr, that
right.
to take himself out of the group, right? That's that I would say is not so bad. But to deny HaKodesh Baruch Hu's involvement here, I mean, the whole purpose of whatever we're doing is because Hashem is commanding it to do that. That would be, in my opinion, the ikr.
Right.
The ikr, that Hashem's commanding you. The Chacham says, right, he's asking, even though he mentions us in Eskem, fine, he's acknowledging these were commandments from HaKodesh Baruch Hu, Hashem Elokeinu, and he's commanding you, right? So he's also somewhat removed, right? But he's acknowledging HaKodesh Baruch Hu, where the Rasha, Ma avoda azos lechem, meaning, one second, where's the, had he said, Ma avoda azos, shetziva Hashem Elokeinu, where even if it said, Atziva Hashem, leave out the Elokeinu, just Tziva Hashem, then he wouldn't be so bad.
Right.
Whether he's with the group or not, so that seems minimal. But we see the Hagaddah is teaching us not that way. The main claim against the Rasha is that he's Yotzi Min HaKlal.
Right.
Not that he's not making reference to HaKodesh Baruch Hu. So that needs a little bit more understanding on my part.
I'll tell you one thing that I heard.
Sure.
I heard that these 4 sons are all mentioned in the Torah.
Right.
And if you want to understand more about what's going on, you look at where they're mentioned. You look at the Pesach that the son is mentioned in.
Right.
The Chacham is mentioned in Shmos.
Okay.
And therefore, he was amongst the people who were rescued. He was amongst the 600,000 that crossed the sea. I'm sorry, opposite. The Chacham is from Devarim, and he's not amongst the 600,000. He's at the end of the 40 years. He wasn't there when it happened.
Okay.
Whereas the Rasha was the one from Exodus.
Okay.
That was there.
Okay.
So when the Chacham says you, he has to say you because he wasn't there.
Okay.
He's saying Hashem commanded you back then before I was born.
Okay, I hear. Good.
Whereas the Rasha was there, and yet he doesn't mention Hashem. And he says you. He should have said us.
Because he was
there.
Okay, very good.
That's one explanation that I heard.
That's good. Very good. All right, very good. Yeah, so part of the answers that are given here, see, how do we understand this person's riches, his evilness? You know, how do we understand what we're supposed to learn from this person's evilness? There are two things. He's maybe three things. He obviously, the first and foremost thing, he's taking himself out of the cloud, because that says specific. Also, he's not mentioning anything about HaKodesh Baruch Hu. And thirdly, he's not mentioning anything about that what we're doing has any connection with the command of HaKodesh Baruch Hu.
Right.
Three things. Again, we're only told about the Yotzi Min HaKlal. Yotzi Min HaKlal.
I have another difficulty with the four sons.
Yeah.
If I ask myself, which son was I when I was 25?
Yeah.
So when I was 25, I had no clue. And I could easily see myself saying, what is this to you?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
What is this? What is all this nonsense?
Right.
But I wasn't a Rasha. I was just ignorant.
Because that might be that could be any other show. That could be the fourth song.
Could be,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I think of the any Yodea Lishol as somebody who is, like a very small child, someone who doesn't have das.
Right.
Not somebody who has das who says, "What is this junk? What is this nonsense?"
Mm-hmm.
But there's two ways you can say, "What is this nonsense?" You can say, "What is this nonsense?" Because you're an abikaris, you're knowledgeable, you know what's going on, and you're rejecting it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can say it because you just really don't know what it is.
Right.
It doesn't seem like that category is mentioned here.
Possibly because that, see, even a person who, let's say, knows nothing. He knows nothing. But yet, he sees people who are seemingly intelligent, maybe older and perhaps wiser than him. And he's uninitiated. He's a novice. Right? He's a novice. But take anything. A person's a novice in anything. So he sees people who are active and they're involved with a certain thing. Could be golf, could be music appreciation, could be anything. He's a novice. He sees people wine appreciation. He doesn't know anything about this. Why are you making such a big deal about what kind of glass you're supposed to drink your wine out of? What does this mean? What does it? But he sees people that seem to be intelligent and involved with in an intelligent way with something. So it's true, he may think about it as nonsense, but if he sees people who he assumes have some type of intelligent attitude, right? So, as silly as it may seem to him, he may think that there must be something here, right? But he may not really know anything. He may not even know, what what does it matter what kind of, what does it matter if the wine's chilled or not chilled? What does it matter? Because, it doesn't matter to you. You don't know anything about wine. Right? You don't know that the chill of the wine brings out the special food, whatever it does, right? Because you don't know anything about that. If you knew about it, right, you would understand, right? So you could have that person who's any day of the show, meaning even though he may possess intelligence, doesn't necessarily have to be a child of such young age that he can't. But he's an Ein there that he doesn't have the background and the knowledge to relate, right? Which is really that's a young child. The child doesn't have the background and knowledge to relate. He's a young child. Right. But you have that in any case. He's a novice in any type of a thing, right? So there's a shame. It's like a novice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But nothing. There's no riches involved with that.
Right.
Here they're talking about a Russia who who should know better, as you pointed out. If you look at the context of the pasuk of the verse, it's in Shmos, which is, he should have learned. He actually saw those miracles and wonders that Hashem did for him, right? So he should really understand what's going on. He's not a novice, right? So you have that advantage. So that's why the novice has an advantage over a Rasha, because even though he may know little or anything, right? But nevertheless, his lack of knowledge is even a benefit for him, because the knowledge, if it's with knowledge comes the obligation. Right? With the knowledge of what Hashem did comes the obligation of your obligation to fulfill the will of the HaKodesh Baruch. Right. So that's the. But again, so that leads me back to my question about the Rasha. What's the problem that he's taking himself out of the context of Lechem? So if you look at it from the point of view of as you pointed out very well, that in terms of the pasuk, that's pasuk. The context of the pasuk is maybe it's worthwhile seeing the pasuk will get accomplished. Let's take a look. Maybe to get a running start. Yeah, maybe we'll start by 3, 4, 5 psukim. But let's look at the psukim here.
Which
starting by there.
Chafalach?
Yeah.
Vayikra Moshe l'chol ziknei Yisrael. Moshe spoke to all the elders of Israel. Vayomer Alehem, and he said to them, Mishchu ukechu lachem tzaon lemishpechosechem. Something with your families.
Right. You should take for yourselves from the tzon, from the sheep, the flocks, right? For your families.
V'shachatu haPesach, and check the Pesach. Ulekachtem agudas ezov, and receive.
So take the lekachtem. You should take the bundle ezov of the hasip. It's
hyssop. Oh, right. Utivaltem bidam, and sprinkled blood. Asher basaf vehigatem, and tell them.
Well, this is with an iron. So you should take the hyssop, and you should take this bundle, which has been dipped into the blood, and that's basaf. That's there. And if you got them, you should place it. You got them, El Mashko, Falshtemus. You should place it on the doorposts, on the crossbeam.
Okay, I got it. Min Hadam, from the blood, Asher Bisaf, that, I forgot what Bisaf means.
That's the
same word we have here.
Yeah, that's like that's in a vessel.
In the vessel.
Yeah.
Okay.
She says it doesn't. You have the dam which has been placed in a vessel.
Right.
So you have to dip that hyssop bundle into the dam which is in the vessel.
In the vessel. Okay. Va'atem lo teitzu, and you shall not go out, ish mi patach, from the door, beso, of his house, ad boker, until the morning. So put the blood on the doorposts and stay inside.
Good.
Va'avar, and after.
Well, past. This is Va'avar.
Oh, and past.
Va'avar Hashem Nignov.
Nignov.
Es Mitzrim. And
Mitzrim.
Hashem shall pass and smite.
Smite. Oh, Nignov. This is to smite. Smite the Egyptians. Vira'ah, and saw et hadam, and he'll see the blood al ha mashkof, on the lintels, va'al shtei ha mezuzot, and on the two lintels, I guess.
Yes.
Both.
The two uprights, right?
The two uprights. It's just saying two words for the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Upasach, and he will pass Hashem al ha-pesach, over the openings, velo yitain, and he will not give hamashchis lavo. The mashchis is the angel of death.
Yeah, the destroyer. Yeah.
The destroyer to go, or to come, el basechem, to their houses, lin gof, to destroy.
Good.
Is that like the same word as gore?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, right. Yeah, very good, very good.
Ushimartem, and you will hear.
Actually, guard, like.
Oh, you will guard.
Yeah, with shema, that would be with an ayin in there.
Right.
Guard, like shomer, to watch, to guard.
And you will guard et ha-davar hazeh, this thing.
It could be like also observe. You shall observe this thing.
Right. Like Shomer Shabbos, to observe such.
Exactly.
Lakach, lach, to receive for yourself.
To take for yourself.
Lakach,
to take for yourselves.
Ula vanecha, and for your children, adolam.
Actually, that's not correct. It should be an ordinance, and it should be a statute for you.
Oh, like chok.
Yeah, like chok, right? It should be an ordinance, a statute for you, and for your sons or your offspring forever.
V'haya ki savo'u, and it will be when you will come, el eretz asher yitain Hashem, to the land that Hashem will give lachem to you. Kasher, like, or that, as that.
Good.
Diber, he spoke. Ushmartem, and you will guard et ha'avodah, this work.
This
Azot, these things.
Yeah, the havodah.
This service.
This service, right? You should observe this service, right? You should observe this service, right?
V'haya, and it will be ki amru, when he will say aleichem, to you, b'nechem, your children, ma ha'avodah hazos lachem. What is this service to you? So there's our quote.
Right.
V'amartem zevach pesach, and you will say and say to them.
In their answer, they're going to be asking you,
right?
Because again, see, according from the context of this pasuk, they weren't going to be here. This is talking about when you've come to Eretz Israel, which is now a good 40 years plus since the time of coming out of Mitzrayim. When they'll say to you, "B'nechem ma avodah azos lechem," what's this avodah that's for you, right?
Amartem zevach pesach, who, and say to them, the memorial of the Pesach. What's zevach?
Zevach is like the sacrifice. This is the Pesach. Zevach Pesach, the Pesach sacrifice.
This is the Pesach. Say to them, the Pesach sacrifice. It is.
Ul Hashem. This is for Hashem. This is a Passover sacrifice for Hashem.
Asher Pasach al Batei Bnei Israel, who passed over the houses of the Israelites, b'Mitzrayim, in Mitzrayim, b'Neg po, and destroyed et Mitzrayim, ve'et batenu, and their houses, hatzil, vayikod. What's hatzil?
It's from the Hatzalah, from the Hussein, and as meaning HaKodesh Hashem was Pasach al Batei Bnei Yisrael. Hashem passed over the houses of the Jews,
Right.
in Mitzrayim, right. V'nagfu was in the time when he was smiting the Mitzrayim. So at the same time Hashem was smiting the Mitzrayim, he was passing over the houses of the Jews.
Oh, so Batenu is that Jewish houses,
Right,
not the
right.
Egyptian
That's
houses.
Batenu Hitzil, and our households were saved.
Were saved.
Right.
Vayikod ha'am. What's Vayikod?
They actually, Yaakov is a type of bowing down, right? Meaning, this is now the pasuk in the middle of the verse. It's now referring to what the Jewish people did when they heard these words from Moshe Rabbeinu. Because again, the whole parsha began with Vikra Moshe El Zikri Yisrael. Right? Moshe was talking and speaking to the Zikri, the elders of the Jewish people, and now the end of the verse is referring to what the reaction of the people were when they heard this.
They bowed down and prostrated themselves.
That's right, exactly.
Vayelchu.
Oh, okay.
That's enough?
Okay, finish that part. So one more verse.
Vayelchu vaya'asu b'nei Israel. They went and did, the children of Israel, kasher tzivah Hashem, as Hashem commanded, es Moshe, to Moshe, va'aron, and Aaron, kain asu, thus they did.
That's that. Okay. So,
but it doesn't answer the way it answers in the Hagaddah.
no, that's one. That was my first question I had about this. The answer that the Torah itself is giving, what Moshe Rabbeinu is saying, is not at all the answer of the Hagaddah. Right. The first of all, there doesn't seem to be any Russia that's not necessarily so in terms of the pasuk itself, right?
Right.
But you see that the Hagaddah is using the pasuk in a completely different context, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's difficult.
And Rashi doesn't even explain the pasuk. The couple is our pasuk. V'ki yomru aleichem v'neichem avoda azos lechem. Right? That Rashi doesn't explain this at all. Yeah, it's a bit difficult. Look, I mean, there are many varied and intricately faceted explanations of any given verse in the Torah, so that we don't have to limit ourselves to the one basic understanding of the Torah. Obviously, the Hagaddah is using it in terms of a different limud. So ma avoda azos lachem. That in terms of the Hagaddah is the question of the Russia.
Right.
But in terms of the context of the pasuk, it doesn't necessarily have to be so.
Right.
And actually, within the context of the psukim, you understand again. Let's take a general picture of what's going on here in the Chumash. Moshe Rabbeinu is speaking to the Ziknei Yisrael. And he said to them that they should take the Korban Pesach, right? Mm-hmm. And he's telling them what they should do with the dam of the Korban Pesach. To put it on the mashkov and the shtei mezuzos, and Hashem therefore is going to see the dam, and he's going to pass over, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's going to be when we come into Eretz Yisrael, vayaki savo el haaretz. When you finally come into Eretz Yisrael, Hashem yitein Hashem lechem. Hashem's going to give you this land of Eretz Yisrael, right? And you should shmartem es avodos. You should observe this these mitzvahs of the Korban Pesach, right?
Right.
And at that point, so you might very well have the question, well, what's this all about? There might be, children born that have not witnessed all these things,
Right.
and they can ask, what's this all about? And then you'll simply say, right, Marta Zevach Pesach Ula Hashem. It's a sacrificial Pesach offering for Hashem. And why? Sheh Pesach. Hashem was Pesach Habati Yisrael, B'nei Mitzrayim, and B'niklu Es Mitzrayim, and the Mitzrayim was smoke. And our houses were saved.
So this really belies the explanation that I gave.
Certainly, yeah.
This answer seems to be a very answer that's similar to the answer to the Chacham,
Somewhat.
where you're explaining the details.
Somewhat.
It's not doing as much, but much of the details, but the Chacham's question was more detailed.
Right. Mm-hmm. Have to see if anyone speaks about the source of this Hagaddah and the way it's explained in this way.
Yeah, the Rosh is difficult.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, maybe we'll stop here.